Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, I've got an incredible story that's not just about honing your English skills, but also about drawing inspiration from real life perseverance. The tale we're about to explore is titled Unveiling the Secret, the journey from dreams to reality, and it's a testament to how hard work and unwavering determination can transform lives. So, let's get right into it. A young dreamer's humble beginnings. Meet Ethan, a 22-year-old lad from a quaint, mountain-rimmed village named Greenfield. Ethan was no ordinary young man. He carried within him the audacious dream of establishing a chain of high-end cafes that would be renowned far and wide. However, life had dealt him a rather tough hand. His family, the Thompsons, was mired in financial struggles. His father, David, worked as a carpenter, spending long hours crafting wooden furniture to bring in a meager income. His mother, Emily, took on odd jobs as a seamstress, sewing away to make ends meet. Ethan's little sister, Ava, just 8 years old, looked at him with eyes full of admiration, seeing him as her guiding light. One cool autumn evening, as the leaves were starting to turn golden, Ethan sat on the porch of their small cottage, gazing at the constellations above. He let out a heavy sigh and muttered to himself, "I want to give my family a life of comfort and prosperity, but how can I even begin when we're constantly juggling to pay the bills?" The next day, over a simple breakfast of bread and jam, Ethan shared his aspirations with his father. David, a man of few words but deep wisdom, put down his coffee cup and said, "Ethan, the road to achieving your dreams is never smooth. Success doesn't come knocking on your door for free. You have to start with the resources at your disposal, no matter how limited they seem. The first spark of an idea." Ethan's mind was constantly churning, and one day an epiphany struck. In Greenfield, the villagers had a deep-seated love for freshly brewed coffee, but the nearest coffee shop was in a town miles away. Ethan thought, why not bring the coffee right here to our doorstep? But there was a major hitch. He didn't have a single dime to invest in this venture. Undeterred, Ethan decided to take a leap of faith. He set out on a long walk to the neighboring town to meet Mr. Harris, the owner of a well-known coffee roastery. Mr. Harris was a stern-looking man with a no-nonsense attitude. When Ethan finally reached the roastery, he mustered up his courage and said, "Mr. Harris, I'm from Greenfield, and I believe there's a great market for your coffee in my village, but I don't have the money to buy it up front. I was wondering if you could trust me for a week. I'll sell the coffee in my village, return your money, and keep a small margin for myself." Mr. Harris raised an eyebrow and looked at Ethan skeptically. "Why should I trust a young kid like you? This is a business, not a charity," he grumbled. Ethan looked him straight in the eye and replied, "Sir, I'm willing to work day and night to prove myself. I'm not just doing this for the money. I want to build something for my village and my family." After a moment of thought, Mr. Harris said, "All right, I'll give you enough coffee for a week. But if you don't pay me back, don't even think about coming back here." The struggles and triumphs of starting small? Ethan was over the moon. He carefully carried the bags of coffee back to Greenfield and set up a makeshift stall in the village square. With a big smile on his face, he called out to the passers, "Buy freshly roasted coffee straight from the roastery. Come and give it a try." At first, the villagers were hesitant. They were used to traveling to the other town for their coffee fix and were unsure about this new offering. But Ethan was prepared. He offered free samples, and soon the rich aroma of the coffee started to attract people. By the end of the day, he had sold all the coffee and made a small profit. That evening, Ethan made the long journey back to Mr. Harris to pay him back. Mr. Harris was impressed. "You've got some gumption, kid. Come back tomorrow," he said. From then on, Ethan became a familiar sight on the roads between Greenfield and the roastery. He would wake up at the crack of dawn, make the journey to pick up the coffee, and then spend the day selling it in the village. As the weeks passed, his business started to grow steadily. He saved enough money to buy a small, second-hand coffee maker, which allowed him to offer freshly brewed coffee on the spot. The next step, brewing his own coffee. One day, a regular customer, an old man named Mr. Jenkins, pulled Ethan aside. "Ethan, you're doing a great job selling coffee, but have you ever thought about roasting your own beans? You could cut out the middleman and make a lot more profit," he suggested. The idea intrigued Ethan, but it also filled him with trepidation. He had no idea how to roast coffee beans. This was a whole new ballgame. Ethan realized that if he wanted to take his business to the next level, he had to step out of his comfort zone. He thought to himself, "If I want to achieve my dreams, I have to be willing to learn new things and take risks. Nothing in life is free, especially success." Ethan decided to approach Mr. Harris for guidance. The next time he went to pay for the coffee, he said, "Mr. Harris, I'm interested in learning how to roast coffee beans. I know it might seem like I'll be competing with you in the future, but I'll always be grateful for the chance you gave me. And if I succeed, I'd like to help promote your other products as well." Mr. Harris was taken aback. He had never expected this young man to be so forward-thinking. After a moment of deliberation, he said, "Ethan, roasting coffee is a complex process. It requires patience, precision, and a lot of hard work. But if you're serious about it, I'll teach you." The trials of mastering a new skill. The training began early the next morning. Ethan arrived at the roastery at 4 a.m., ready to learn. Mr. Harris showed him the different types of coffee beans, how to measure the right amount of heat, and the art of timing. At first, Ethan struggled. The heat was difficult to control, and more often than not, the beans either got over, roasted and tasted bitter, or were under, roasted and lacked flavor. One day, after ruining yet another batch of beans, Ethan felt discouraged. He sat down in the corner of the roastery and thought, "Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should just stick to selling the coffee I buy from Mr. Harris." But then, he remembered his family's faces and his dream of a better life for them. He stood up, dusted himself off, and said, "I can't give up. I have to keep trying." Over the next few weeks, Ethan dedicated himself to learning the craft. He experimented with different roasting times and temperatures, taking meticulous notes. Slowly but surely, his coffee started to improve. Mr. Harris was impressed with his progress. "Ethan, you've really got the hang of it. Your coffee is starting to taste as good as mine," he said one day. Ethan was elated. He decided to start roasting his own coffee beans at a small shed in his backyard. His family was a great support. Ava would help him sort the beans, and Emily would bring him snacks and water as he worked long hours. Facing competition head-on. As Ethan's coffee business was flourishing, a new challenge emerged. A young entrepreneur named Lucas opened a modern coffee shop in Greenfield. Lucas had invested a lot of money in setting up a trendy place with comfortable seating, free Wi-Fi, and a wide range of coffee-based drinks. The villagers were immediately drawn to this new establishment, and Ethan noticed a significant drop in his sales. He was worried. All his hard work seemed to be going down the drain. But instead of panicking, Ethan decided to analyze the situation. He started visiting Lucas's coffee shop undercover, observing what the customers liked about it. He also surveyed his own customers, asking them what he could do better. Some customers said they liked the modern ambiance of Lucas's shop, while others mentioned that they loved the unique coffee blends he offered. Ethan realized that he needed to up his game, not just in terms of the quality of his coffee, but also in terms of the overall customer experience. He used his savings to renovate his small stall. He added some comfortable chairs and tables, put up some local art on the walls, and started offering a loyalty program. He also experimented with creating his own unique coffee blends, drawing inspiration from the local flavors of Greenfield, the Fire, and the Rebuild. Just when Ethan was starting to see his business pick up again, a disaster struck. One night, a fire broke out in his shed due to a faulty electrical wire. By the time Ethan and the villagers managed to put out the fire, most of his roasting equipment was destroyed. Ethan was devastated. He had worked so hard to build his business, and now it seemed like everything was in ruins. The next day, as the villagers gathered around the burnt-out shed, some said, "This is a huge setback for Ethan. I don't know if he'll be able to recover from this." But Ethan was not one to be defeated. He stood in the middle of the rubble and said, "This is just a temporary setback. I've faced challenges before, and I'll overcome this one too." I'm not going to let this fire destroy my dreams. Ethan decided to reach out to the community for help. He organized a fundraising event in the village square, where he shared his story and his vision for the future. The villagers, who had seen his hard work and determination over the years, were more than willing to support him. Some donated money, others offered to help rebuild the shed, and a local hardware store owner gave him a discount on new roasting equipment. With the help of the community, Ethan was able to rebuild his roasting facility in a few months. This time, he made sure to use better quality materials and installed proper safety measures. The reopening and the message of perseverance. When Ethan reopened his coffee business, it was better than ever. He named it Ethan's Brews and had a grand reopening event. The village was abuzz with excitement. People from neighboring villages also came to see the new and improved coffee shop. The mayor of Greenfield attended the event and said, "Ethan, you are an inspiration to all of us. You've shown that with hard work, determination, and the support of the community, anything is possible." Ethan stood in front of the crowd and said, "I want to thank each and every one of you. This journey has taught me that nothing in life comes easy. Success, respect, and the love of the community have to be earned through hard work, perseverance, and a willingness to learn. Never give up on your dreams, no matter how difficult the road may seem." From that day on, Ethan's Brews became more than just a coffee shop. It became a symbol of hope and resilience in Greenfield. Ethan's story spread far and wide, inspiring other young entrepreneurs to follow their dreams. And as for Ethan, he continued to expand his business, opening new branches in nearby towns. His family was proud of him, and he had finally achieved the better life he had always dreamed of for them. So, guys, I hope this story has inspired you as much as it has inspired me. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories and English learning content. See you in the next video.